The history of war was almost as long as human civilization, from marathon battle to crusade, from Battle of Changping to Sengoku period. No matter what nations people were, people just couldn't stop fighting each other. As technology developed, battlefield also changed. People fought from the land to the ocean. People fought from the ocean into the sky. People bleed and died in war. War costs a lot, not only money but also lives. People are always pursuing peace. Therefore, many of them paraded to ask their government to give up force. They opposed to increase the military fund and wage aid to help on ending the war. But will peace last forever if we give up force? 510 BC, Romans exiled their king and established Roman Republic. From 500 to 27 BC, Romans had war with other cities and their realm got larger every year. 27 AD, Augustus used the political strategy to become the principal imperator, and the Roman Republic was replaced by Empire. 395 AD, Theodosius, the last emperor, split Rome into two parts, and his two sons inherited the empire. 410 AD, West Rome was invaded by Goths, and 476, one of the largest empires on earth was ended. Rome once had the best military force in the world. Why was it so easily being destroyed by barbarians? The first reason was the forces of Huns and Visigoths. Visigoths was an offset of Goths who occupied Iberia. They had been fighting with other nations for many years, so they were good at fighting. 410 AD, Visigoths and Huns sieged Rome and the slaves opened the gates. Barbarians plundered in Rome for 3 days. However, the feudal reason was the nonfeasance of the empire. After Rome conquered Europe, there was no enemy stood before this huge empire, so the inside of Rome began to decay. During the expanding period, the main force of army were Roman people, and the barbarians were only allied forces. Most of Romans were proud of being soldiers and glad to fight for their country. But after living in peace for centuries, Roman people refused to get on battlefield themselves. Roman nobles trade slaves and watched them fighting each other. All the citizens enjoyed peace, and the army was not well trained and organized, and the soldiers started to fight for gold instead of honor. After 200 AD, most soldiers in Roman army were slaves and mercenaries, and the Romans sat in arena and enjoyed their games. They also regarded other nations as barbarians. But when the barbarian attacked them, Roman paid this barbarian to make them fall back. The only result for an empire of losing battlefield was destruction. 455, Rome was looted again by another barbarian. It was a real doomsday. A country is tragic if it does not have enough strength to guard its culture and peace. Right now, we can only look at the ruin of arena in Rome and imagine the prosperity of Roman Empire. Let's move to the east corner of the world, China. Compared to Europe, China was developed isolated. Europe first mentioned Chinese silk at 200 AD, but they never tried to read China by person. There were about 20 dynasties on Chinese history, and the main nation was Han. By the way, here is a funny history between China and Rome. Qin, which was believed as the ancient of Han, lived to the north of China in 100 BC. Emperor Wu defeated them and led to their migration to the west. 200 years later, Huns attacked the Goths and destroyed the Roman Empire. The ancient China, in some way, was the origin of invasion of barbarians. Back to history. When the Europeans arrived at China, it was 18th century and the ruling dynasty was Qing. King of Qing refused to trade or communicate with this foreigner, and the policy of closing ports led to the tragedy of this old empire. Due to the strong self-sufficiency and import policy in China, British tried to find new goods to solve deficit. They found out Chinese were addicted to opium and paid a lot for that. Qing dynasty saw danger of opium, so they sent officers to burn opium and catch British. British didn't want to lose their profit, so they sent 3 fleets to China and start a war. Soldiers of Qing were shocked when they saw steel ships floating over the sea. Compared to the advanced weapons of Britain, Chinese soldiers still use bows, swords, and spears to fight. They even used the weapons made by the last dynasty, which means the weapons were hundreds of years old. 18,000 soldiers couldn't even stop 2,400 sailors. Although the Chinese soldiers and citizens tried hard to fight British, the Qing still lost the war due to the lagging weapon and strategy. Qing signed the first unjust treaty, and China became a half-colonized country. Till the end of World War I, China lost all wars and signed the treaty by the threat of military force. Its ancient empire was ravaged by this West pirate, and it is too weak to fight back. So what should we do to pursue peace? War is the product of desire, and it has existed for thousands of years. It is terrible, and people for nothing but death there. But war won't just go away while we hate it. Like China once defeated Han's invade, and kept training soldiers while in peace. Strong military force was proved as a necessary element of peace. But remember, force is not equal to war. We should never be the one who starts the war. The meaning of force is to defend, not invade. We do not fight for plunder or destruction. What we do fight for is the peace that our family will enjoy. And that's how I comprehend peace, war, and force.